and welcome to the Ella Sister podcast, where we talk about what's going on in our lives and what's going on in the world. Today, it is myself and Jess.
Hello.
Jess is our newest member of Team LO, so this is so fun that you're here. Literally your first week full-time.
First week full-time.
First week
Just
full-time,
jumping
baby.
in.
Here we go. We have a fun combo today. Which I'm surprising you with. I talked to Olivia about this before. I said, Olivia, we said we're going to talk about this, but should I surprise her? And she's like, yeah, do it.
What are we talking about?
Okay, nothing crazy. I just have 3 would you rather questions instead.
I like this.
Okay, ready? Would you rather never get a haircut again or never shave again?
I would want to shave, so I guess never get a haircut.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good. That's what my answer would be too.
Yeah.
Would you rather only be able to wash your hair twice a week or only be able to check your phone once a day?
Well, considering I do social media.
Yeah, I know. That's why I picked this one for you.
Yeah, definitely only wash my hair twice a week.
Really?
And I already do that.
Well, I was about to say, that's probably, I mean, I really only wash my hair twice a week too.
I don't know if that's nasty, but.
Which I think for girls, it's different than guys. Like guys hear that and they're like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, they don't get it.
But I'm still like showering, just not washing my hair every day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay.
It's a good question.
Last one. Okay. This one I did not run by Olivia, but I read this one and it made me laugh so hard. Okay. Because this is actually a hard one. The other 2 I felt like were kind of easy. Would you rather have a permanent unibrow or no eyebrows at all?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this one's tough.
I think no eyebrows at all.
Really?
Yes.
You don't
Because
want
I could
any
just
hair?
like tattoo them on or something. I don't know.
That is brave of you.
I feel like I could rock it low key, just like.
No eyebrows?
Yeah. Have you seen the bleached eyebrow trend? Oh yeah. People are bleaching their eyebrows and they look like they just don't have eyebrows.
Like they bleach them
Like blonde, like white.
and no matter their hair color?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird. I know.
Have you seen this on like TikTok or Instagram?
No, I don't know. I think maybe Emma Chamberlain did it. I don't know. I've seen it on TikTok. I've seen it on all the socials. It's interesting. I don't know if it's my thing, but over a unibrow, yeah.
See, I mean, I don't want a unibrow, don't get me wrong, but I think having no hair would look really terrible.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I don't know.
That's just me.
I can rock it.
Okay, Jess, tell us what in our world of social media we're talking about today.
Well, I think we could talk about TikTok. And y'all, people make some money on TikTok. Like just everyday life vloggers. It's crazy. Like I would love to do that. But I don't know.
You know, I am calling myself out because I did tell y'all this morning. I was like, y'all, I found this girl on Instagram and she broke down like how much she made in a month by just posting her day in life. And the number she said, literally, I was like, if she's making that much money just posting videos of her life, I can do that.
You know?
I was like, I can make these videos and I can make money. And I just had a daughter, okay? I need to make more money over here.
Well, look, people think it's really easy to make reels and like daily like life vlogs, but it's a lot harder than you think. Like making a reel.
Okay, so tell me this. This is a legitimate question I have. How do people do voiceovers?
Freddie.
I'm not kidding. I'm like, how do you do that?
There's a button with a microphone on it. And you press record, and then you watch the video, and you talk about the video while you're recording. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be sassy.
No, that wasn't sassy. That was just I knew it was a simple
answer. You just
answer.
record with the microphone.
Well, here's
button.
Here's the thing. I think I can do all these things, and then I come down to the like nitty gritty, like how do I do a voiceover? And it probably is really simple, but to me, it's kind of challenging. So I think I'm actually more challenged in social media than I would like to admit because I genuinely, I know people are going to laugh at me. I genuinely did not know that. That was not a staged question. I genuinely didn't know.
That's okay.
So moral of the story
it's hard to be an influencer.
It's hard to be an influencer, even though we all dream that we could do it and it's easy.
I just don't think I would be great at that, but I think it would be fun. I don't know.
Yeah, you were trying to encourage me like, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, you got it.
But my vision for my reels that I wanted to do is actually really good.
Is it like day in the life?
Day in life, okay. But of a counselor.
Day in the life.
Because here's my pitch to you. Okay. Tell me if you think this is interesting. Okay. People always ask me, like, what do I do as a counselor? And it's like, well, there are a lot of things I can't talk about because of HIPAA and all that stuff. Yeah. But like my prep, the things that maybe I'm learning, how I take notes, prepping for sessions, writing notes, getting things in place, like answering emails, stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't really think there, and maybe I'm wrong, but there are not a lot of therapist influencers out in the world.
I think
maybe I could be the first one ever.
I think that would be very interesting, honestly, especially for that community. I think they'd love that.
Stay tuned if that actually happens.
Freddie, the influencer.
Speaking of the fact that you knew that it was a social media trend, which I like have zero knowledge about social media trends, you are our social media gal.
I am. I do the Live Original, Instagram, Facebook, and the Whoa That's Good. So
it's a fun time for you.
It's a fun time, and I really just jumped into it because I didn't think I would be doing social media. I went to school for graphic design, just graduated last weekend, so that was crazy. But never thought I'd be doing social media. I just always thought it wasn't my thing. And then I got a text, and I was like, okay, I'll meet for coffee, and we'll talk about this. And I kind of just let Sadie know, like, I'm not extremely experienced in this. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but if I'm being called to it, I'll figure it out. And like, that's awesome. I will try my best to. Yeah. And I think I've figured it out pretty well. Yeah. Of course, I can still learn and grow. We always can, but it's been great. I love it. So.
You bring up a really good point. Like, you were graphic design, so really social media was not in your idea of like a job. Talk to us about how that was, like, thinking through, okay, I really might not do anything with my major, because that's a really big struggle when you're a senior in college and you're like, I spent all this time doing this and now I might not do this. Like, am I doing the right thing? Did I like an identity crisis? Yeah. So what was that like for you?
So the thing with like me not thinking I'd be doing social media, like I really kind of hated it because I worked with a marketing company before working for Ello, and they would ask me, and I was the graphic designer, so I made all the graphics for social media accounts, but they would ask me like, hey, do you want to try to do socials for these different accounts? And I was like, no. Social media is not for me. Like, I don't know how to do captions. I don't know how to do that. So I really just had to trust that this is where I was supposed to be. And I'm a person that thinks into the future a lot, and like you said, like I thought I would be doing branding and logos and like graphic design, and then doing this, it's different, but I'm so thankful that my plan didn't work out and that God had another plan for me, that I never would have put myself in this like position, but it's good. Like I'm just happy that this is the outcome, if that makes sense. I don't know. Just fully trusting.
Yeah. Well, you kind of mentioned like you didn't love social media, but now it's your job. What are you liking about it now that maybe you didn't realize, like, oh, this is actually kind of fun to get to do social media? Because you're doing graphics, and that's a good bit of what you're doing now too. But you're also like posting and reading the comments and like communicating with people online.
I love seeing like the Ello sister community engaging with the Instagram and sending in DMs like for questions that they have about life. And I love like just being creative. I've always had a little creative side, and so I love exploring different trends and seeing what catches viewers' attention. And I think what's cool about social media is you can share the gospel and like put it in their hand, like on their phone. Like, it's just a great way to reach people. That's cool. I've seen the good in it and like the beauty in it.
That's such a cool perspective. I know we had this conversation the other day, like early morning. We both got to work, and we were just talking about you were about to graduate. This was a few weeks ago, and this is so funny to me because I was like, yeah, I graduated college in 2020, and you're like, oh, that's when I graduated high school. And I was like, gosh, I am old, and I feel old sitting with you that you just graduated college, and I've been out of college for 4 years now, which makes me feel so old. But we were talking about that transition, and you kind of, that day specifically, you were really overwhelmed with transitioning out. There was a lot going on in your sorority, things like that. And we just had this conversation of like, gosh, college is such a fun time for most people. Not everyone has the best college experience, but you and I did. And I was telling you how much I loved college, like some of the greatest years of my life, great community. But the transition was really challenging and it just took me some time. And you're kind of like stepping into that transition. Yeah. You're so fresh in it. But what has it felt like for you now that you're truly post-grad life, like as of this week, full time, what's that felt like?
So it's different because I'm still living in my college town, but a lot of my friends are younger than me. And so we're just in different stages of life, but still living in the same town, still getting to see them. So it's hard not being a part of my sorority anymore and not being a part of like a college group, which now I'm transitioning into another like Bible study community over the summer. It's like post-grad girls, and it's really sweet. It's just different. And I'm going to miss all the events that I had in my sorority and all the sisterhood nights, but I think I've like genuinely seen like I can have a sisterhood here at the office, and then and then with girls that are still in my town. So it's been good. It's a struggle though, because there's just so much change at once, and I really do struggle with anxiety and getting in my head, because I used to always fear the future of like what's going to happen next. If I don't know what happens in the next year, I'm going to freak out. But I think I've just kind of stepped into the headspace of like, it really is going to be okay no matter what happens, because whatever decision you make or whatever you're doing, God already knew you were going to make it. Yeah. And if it's the quote like wrong one, he'll redirect you. So that's just a new perspective that I've had to look at.
That's good.
Or like had to take.
Yeah.
But
that's good. Something you said like really stuck out to me when you're like the sisterhood.
Yeah.
And that's the heartbeat of like this podcast and our whole ministry, right? It's like being a good sister and a friend. And one thing I loved about college was like the sleepovers.
Oh my gosh,
and like living with my best friends. Getting ready for things together. Like, I don't know, just getting to do life with your friends at every waking moment was so much fun. For me, I transitioned right out of college and I got married. And so I went from living with all girls to living with my husband. And that was a huge shift for me. But it's hard because you don't, at least this is how I operate. I don't really think about all of the things that come with the change. Like I think about the change. I think about it's going to be a new life, a new season. I think about all the exciting. And then when the hard things start hitting, I kind of like freak out. And I'm like, wait a second, why is this hard?
It was supposed to be easy.
It was supposed to be a lot better. Like I was supposed to just love the transition from living with my 4 best friends to now living with my husband. But it changes and it does get really challenging. And something that I had to learn the hard way, hopefully you don't have to learn the hard way, is it's okay that it's hard and it's going to be hard. Like I feel like sometimes when transition seasons happen, we think, oh, if we give this person this piece of advice, or if I do this thing the right way, or if I change this, like it's going to be easier. But in reality, some of the transitions are just hard and they just have to be hard.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. And they will get better. Like we were just laughing before we started this, my transition into motherhood. I slept maybe 3 hours last night and I am like, my brain is not fully here today.
That's okay.
And that's okay. And it's hard, but it's so fun. And it's the same thing. Like in every transition, I think we just have to start expecting that it's just hard and that it can be fun and that they don't have to be separate from each other. There's probably going to be days when you're in the office and you're like, I wish I was back in college. Right?
I know.
But you're enjoying the season you're stepping into.
Exactly. And I think like you said, like you just stepped into the marriage season right after college, and that's where my high school self wanted to be, which is interesting because now if I was getting married or like planning a wedding right now, I don't know what I would do. Like there's already so much change happening. And like obviously that was the right time for you. I don't think it would be the right time for me. And like that's what I wanted. So I'm glad God knew what I needed and not what I wanted, and that it was better for me to live with friends still. 'Cause
that's a good word.
Yeah.
What'd you just say? God knew what I needed?
God knew what I needed. And it wasn't what I wanted.
What you wanted.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
That is like the epitome of the Christian life.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like. Like not what you not what you want. It's what you need.
It's what you need.
And it's different for everyone. Like you said, to not compare your life to my life. It doesn't mean you're more behind. It doesn't mean I'm more ahead because I got married right out of college, right?
It's all just God's timing. But that's the whole point.
Well, I want to close this out with a prayer over all of kind of the things we talked about. Not comparing, God's timing, God's perfect placement, even when you feel like maybe you're a little confused. And as we all transition from the season that we have been and the season we're walking into, just the changes that all comes with. So I'll pray over us. God, thanks so much for just the ability to be able to have conversations like this and be honest about what's really going on in our hearts and in our lives. I just pray over all the girls listening that are in transition seasons, whether that's graduation, stepping into marriage, motherhood, a new job, a new city, whatever that looks like, that you would just be with them in the transition moments that are hard and also point out to them the transition moments that are good and that are from you as great gifts, God. I pray that we would just embrace every moment, the good and the hard, that we wouldn't be fearful of change, that we would just accept the plans you have for us. Like Jess said, it wasn't what she necessarily thought it would be, God, but it was perfect in your way, and it was the perfect life that you had designed for her. And so I just believe that over everyone listening, and I pray that there would just be a level of acceptance for the plans you are writing in people's lives. We love you, and we are so thankful that you care about all the details of our life. In Jesus' name, amen.